배우들이 직접 촬영장을 돌아다니면서 메이크업, 의상, 특수효과 등의 부서를 살펴보는 영상들을 올렸는데요. 이 모든 영상들을 정리해서 보여드리기 위해 통합본을 만들었습니다. 중간중간에 재밌었던 댓글들도 편집해서 놓아보았어요. 재밌게 봐주세요.
Hello there. How are you, Mark?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Yes, very, very well, thank you.
Good to see you.
혼혈왕자 촬영 중 다니엘이 당시 편집장인 마크 데이를 만나 편집부가 어떻게 일하는지를 보여주는 영상입니다. 그는 혼혈왕자와 불사조 기사단의 편집을 도맡았고 영화를 300번 이상 보고 감독과 제작자의 의견을 반영하며 더욱더 좋은 영화를 만들기 위해 노력했다고 합니다.
Thank you for letting me come up here today as well. This is great. It's very exciting for me, actually. Okay, so Mark, what have you been working on today?
Today I've been working on the library scene where you talk to Hermione about who you're going to go to the party with.
Now, I do seem to remember in that scene, when Hermione hits me, there was one take when it was very hard.
Yeah.
Actually, have you got that? I'd quite like to see that.
Because you probably haven't seen that.
No, I was concussed, of course.
Okay.
But I am closing one. I'm kidding. Okay, sorry. That really did hurt quite a lot. I'll ask someone I like. You're laughing because you hit me so hard, aren't you? Okay. You really can hear the crunch of paper on bone.
엠마는 항상 진심을 다해 연기를 하네요. 죽음의 선물에서 7명의 해리 촬영에서도 실제 다니엘의 머리카락을 뽑더니 이 장면에서는 있는 힘껏 다니엘의 머리를 내려칩니다.
Kidding. Okay, sorry.
So I couldn't use that one because obviously
I cracked up.
Blimey. Ooh, maybe she doesn't know her own strength. Oh, Dan does now.
This is all very fancy here and wonderful. You've
Yes.
got a multicoloured keyboard, for goodness sake. So
have.
how long have
This
you
is
been
Avid.
using computers for to edit? 'Cause
Actually, for about it's probably about 8 or 9 years now. Every cut that I do, every version of a cut, I can keep, so I can always go back to an old cut.
how do you choose when to cut away from someone? I mean,
Yeah, it's just instinct. You can't really teach someone that. You just look at a scene and you just think about it. You have to kind of feel as though you're the person in the scene and then kind of think, when would I actually want to see the other person for that particular line?
Because that's the thing, in my head, if I was editing a scene, it would just be when one person's talking, you have the camera on.
Yeah.
And that's incredibly dull to watch.
Exactly,
It's
but,
really
but that's
boring.
how, you know, it evolves, basically. You kind of start off, maybe you start off like that. When I first start a scene, I usually overcut it. And then I'll look at it again. I'll go back and I'll look at
When you say
from the
overcut
beginning.
it, what
Well,
do
I'll
you
use too many shots because the director will cover a scene multiple angles, as you well know. So then I start paring it down and kind of extending shots.
How different is it to cut a massive action scene, say like the fight between Dumbledore and Voldemort at the end of the 5th film, and a scene like this where you've got 3 or 4 shots in total?
Sometimes it's actually more complicated because action scenes are really quick. It's just a few frames here, a few frames there, and you just have to keep cutting. And whereas on a dialogue scene, you have to get the nuance of the scene, and that's the tricky thing sometimes. You know where to go on you for a particular line or not to be on you for a particular line. You know, but editing is very subjective, and so what you may think is a good cut, I may not.
How many times would you see this film?
Oh man, it's many, many, many times, and that's also quite difficult because you actually have to kind of keep a clear head and look at it from an outsider's point of view as if you're seeing it for the first time, which is quite tricky sometimes because I've seen it 300 times.
At what point would you declare a film was finished? What is the last person to...
Well, we go through various processes where we show the producers, obviously, and they all have their say. You know, so everyone has ideas, obviously, about filmmaking, and that's why it's so interesting being an editor because you're involved with the whole process of where it evolves over the months and months that you're working on a film of this scale.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Mark. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
I shall now go and shoot some more material for you.
All right.
Thank you.
How about watching the film 300 times? It almost rivals some of our biggest fans.
Hello, I'm Emma Watson and I'm here at Leavesden with Amanda, who is our chief makeup artist and has been since film 1, so from the very beginning.
메이크업 아티스트인 아만다 나이트는 9살의 돌부터 참여했었고 메이크업 부서의 리더로서 많은 메이크업을 해왔다고 합니다. 실제로 배우들과 친하게 지냈던 게 느껴지는데 서로의 생일을 챙겨주고 선물도 줬었네요.
We're going to do a
We're going to do a dark
dark
mark.
mark, aren't we?
We're going to do a very quick transfer dark mark. It's very simple. Put it on. and we spray it with water, and hopefully it comes out. Obviously, Emma doesn't normally have a dark mark because she's not a Death Eater.
I'm on the right side. There we go.
Ah,
Ow. There you go. My
dark
own
mark.
dark mark. Meant to be going out for dinner tonight. Might cover that up.
Those look really cool. It's a shame we didn't get to wear those. I wanted to find out for ourselves. So I managed to get the stuff we need to have a go with the tattoos.
Right, come on, I'll go first.
Right, OK. I think I know what I'm doing here. Do I just pop it on
No,
there?
you got to peel it off first.
Peel it off. Yeah, it's fine. So now I just dab it.
Yeah. I thought you knew what you were doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, don't be so bossy.
Be careful.
I am being careful. Look at this. This is wonderful.
not
I've
rubbish.
got the touch. It's going to look great.
What is that?
Not as good as I'd hoped.
It's supposed to be easy.
Yeah, I know, but it's not.
Amanda, what was
Okay.
your biggest makeup challenge this year?
I would say Tattoo Man, which has been thrown into us at the last minute. We had to adapt the design slightly. Some of them we had to hand draw on, so that was the final result.
That's absolutely incredible. How long did it take it to do?
It took 4 makeup artists probably 5 hours.
I think one of my funniest moments on this film was Dan and Rupert, who kind of played a trick on me, which was that in Nocturne Alley, which is kind of like the dodgy area of Diagon Alley, and they just said, Emma, go and take a look in that shop window. So I went and pulled back the curtain, and there was this man. And what I thought at a brief glance was basically practically naked and just covered in tattoos, just sat there in this chair in this like tattoo parlour in Diagon Alley. And my face, because Dan and Rupert obviously knew how I was going to react, we both just sat there just laughing at me. It's quite embarrassing.
Well, I think we can give Tattoo Man a run for his money, eh?
You look ridiculous.
Says you.
I don't look ridiculous. Don't know what you're on about.
메이크업은 배우들에게 한정되는 것이 아니라 단역이나 엑스트라 분들도 마찬가지입니다. 이렇게 우리에게 보이지 못했던 부분에서도 많은 스태프들의 노고가 있었습니다.
This is quite embarrassing, but we were, I was 9 when I first auditioned. I was probably about 10, 11 when we first started filming. And I remember
Getting an emergency phone call
Yeah.
saying that you'd lost a front tooth.
yeah, it was one of these very, very front teeth. And I had to wear a kind of like a...
Piece
Like
with a tooth.
Yeah.
Get something
How
there.
embarrassing is that?
해리포터는 촬영 비하인드도 영화만큼 재밌는 것 같습니다. 또 실제 아역 배우들이 커가는 과정이기도 하고요. 어릴 때부터 촬영장에서 자랐기 때문에 당연히 유치가 빠지는 과정도 겪었겠죠.
This was something that Amanda made me for my 18th birthday. And very sweetly, she got everyone to write me a little message. But what's really interesting is what's on the other side, which is the continuity photographs from the very, very first film. So this is what we all used to look like, and it's absolutely hysterical if you just look like, if I look
at
at
the
my hair,
difference
look
now.
how pale. And Bonnie, and Tom, Jamie, Josh.
This is how I first remember you, coming in for your screen tests.
So weird,
And Rupert.
very strange.
And Dan, look at them all.
I think it's Rupert and Matt who've changed the most.
Yes.
전투씬 장면에서 찢어진 입술 메이크업을 자랑하는 엠마입니다.
This was my edition, the
What?
sexy cut lip.
Hold on. That's something you did or something you asked for?
That was something that I asked for.
So you looked at it, so you thought, I've got to have...
I was like, if we're going to do this whole epic,
Beaten up battle.
thing, I want a cut lip.
And you've got a great graze on your neck as well.
Well,
Or that's
this
not
is-
Love Bite or something, is it?
No.
Ron's been in
That
the
would have been
rubble and-
awkward. No, this is from Bellatrix. She tries to slit my throat, actually.
She's good like that, isn't she?
Yeah, she's pretty mean. Yeah.
I still find it incredible though, because looking at you, and I'm stood,
Very close to you.
and it still looks so real. So
I know,
the scar on your neck or the cut on your lip.
It's funny because I forget. I wear it all day and then I catch myself in the mirror and I'm like, God, I look terrible. I look really bad. No, but it's fun. It's fun.
촬영장 투어 중 나탈리아의 영상이 가장 재밌는 것 같아요. 특유의 밝은 성격과 스태프들과 잘 지내는 모습이 너무 보기 좋거든요.
Isn't this place amazing? I move pretty fast here, so here's a map to help you keep up. Oh, here we go. Right now I'm getting my hair done in a Scottish accent.
How long does it take?
This takes about half an hour, And the makeup takes about, I don't know, how long does it take, Jan? Like half an hour as well?
Yes, maybe 40 minutes sometimes, yes.
But they have to pink out all my hair, and it's usually really knotty and manky because I hate brushing my hair in real life. So that takes a while.
That takes a while.
Yeah, doesn't it? And then getting it just right, like, because the
Getting
front
it
bit,
to look...
like real. And the thing is, they use the front bit is my bit, which they dye, and the back bit's the wig, and so together it makes it look more real, because if they use their proper hairline, it would just, you'd see the lace and it wouldn't look as good. Have we finished, Jan? Are we nearly there?
Finished now.
Part 2, there has been a lot of action sequence. I mean, it's a really, really fast ride, this second film. At least an hour's worth of constant fighting.
죽음의 성물은 해리포터 영화 중 유일하게 두 편으로 나눠 개봉했기 때문에 1, 2부를 합친다면 당연히 가장 긴 러닝타임을 자랑합니다. 특히 호그와트 전투 장면에 심혈을 다해 만들었다는 게 느껴집니다. 많은 전사자가 나온 치열한 전투답게 유혈이 낭자한 전투씬을 보여줬죠.
And also it's an opportunity to get some blood splattered about, which we don't do on Harry Potter very often. I mean, there's a heck of a lot of silicone makeup running around the screen for a lot of the movie.
Horrible burns. These are from Neville and Seamus Blood, the bridge. Neville! So this all happens and his hands get burnt to this. That went well.
이번 영화에서 특히 네빌의 역할이 굉장했는데요. 그래서 그런지 그의 메이크업에도 제작진들이 신경을 많이 쓴 것 같네요. 그의 화상 자국과 머리의 상처 등이 어떻게 만들어졌는지 지금부터 함께 보시죠.
We're doing burns, right?
Yeah, burns.
We're doing burns from the explosion from the bridge. And we put this old skin plaster on first and pick away at the edges. And it sort of looks like the skin's sort of burnt and peeled away, nasty. And then we're going to put some
We're going to colour it up.
colour in and soot and blood. Regular tea leaves, just to sort of make it look more nasty, really. So,
Well, it's to give it a bit of a 3D dimension as
yeah.
well.
I must say my fingernails aren't normally this dirty. Amanda can confirm that. There's lots of blood and gore and stuff on this, so
All your makeup takes about an hour.
do you enjoy regular makeup or the blood and
I love all
blood
the
and
blood.
fun
I
stuff?
do love all the blood and gore, I have to admit, yeah. It's good fun.
And it looks nasty. I remember when we had it done. Amanda, who does the makeup, she sort of just was adding stuff to the middle of it, and I sort of winced a little bit, as if it was actually a real thing. My mind, sort of a phantom burn, had convinced itself that was a real burn.
피부가 벗겨진 텍스처를 만들고 그림과 물감으로 화상을 표현해냅니다. 이 분야 최고의 전문가가 심혈을 다해 작업해서 그런지 정말 감쪽 같네요. 단순한 메이크업을 넘어 예술 작품을 보는 느낌입니다.
It's quite exciting for me because since the very first film, so 9-10 years ago, all I've ever had was a bloody nose in number 5, and that was it. And then this year we've just got everything.
Well, you like it as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's wicked. Yeah.
I mean, some people don't.
Amanda has to get this right every day, regardless of whether I'm in the shot or whether I'm close to the camera, far away. It's got to be right every time, just in case.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I trust you, Amanda. That's what it is. I trust you. In this particular scene, it's just after Voldemort's fired a heavy spell at Neville, and he lands in a pile of rubble. I mean, originally it was supposed to just be like where it is now, the top section of my head. And then when we put the bald piece in, there was wet blood put on that, and it all leaked down over my face down here. And David Yates and David Hayman and Dave Barrett really liked it, so we kept it.
호그와트 전투신 촬영은 일주일이 넘게 걸린 걸로 알고 있는데 이 말은 즉슨 배우들이 매일 아침 똑같은 메이크업을 받아야 했다는 거죠. 그렇기 때문에 피와 상처가 정확하게 똑같은 위치에 똑같은 모양으로 그려져야 했습니다. 매일 아침 이런 정교한 작업을 했던 메이크업 아티스트들이 정말 대단하게 느껴지네요.
And Amanda thought, how the heck am I going to redo that?
There's a way.
All done.
Look at him. It's a hard life, isn't it?
Yeah, I got my point.
He was having a huge amount of fun with it because, of course, there is something in all of us, well, certainly in my world, where grossing people out is quite fun. No! So, blood and guts, love it.
Hi, I'm Rupert Grint, and this are the stunts.
Hi, Rupert. Welcome to the stunt department.
Yeah, cool.
저번 투어 영상에 이어 이번 영상은 루퍼트의 스턴트 부서 투어입니다. 루퍼트를 마주해준 분이 루퍼트의 스턴트로 일했던 닉입니다. 보시면 아시겠지만 그는 중년이고 전혀 루퍼트를 닮지 않았지만 뛰어난 실력으로 루퍼트의 스턴트맨으로 일했다고 합니다.
Can you remember what we did in the past when we've been on the trampoline and you've done a little bit bouncing? We're going to do the same again today, but we're going to put you in a harness. Okay, and what that effective does, it gives you more lift and you can hold your position longer.
Cool, yeah, that sounds good.
Are you happy with that? Yeah?
Let's do it.
Now, in order to prevent very serious injury, first Rupert will have to warm up with the stuntmen.
Warm up. Can't wait to see this.
이번 영상에서 매튜와 알프레드의 해설이 기가 막힙니다. 실제 스포츠 해설자처럼 해설을 하는데 은근히 논을 놀리는 것 같은 둘의 케미가 아주 좋습니다.
Oh, look at that hopping. What grace. Balance.
Put your hands through if you can.
That's incredible. I can do that.
I know for a fact I can't do that.
Feel warm?
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
Right, let's get attached to the harness now. Safety first. We're going to see how well he does catching the ball, being thrown at him at lightning speeds, jumping perilously high.
Big circle.
Oh, and an excellent catch. Look at that. Spectacular. Here comes another. He looks ready. Here we go. Oh, almost in the face. Almost got him in the face. Not so good. Oh, but there we go
That was
again.
smooth.
Make it look easy now.
He's still got enough breath to talk as well.
Ron's the keeper in this. I've got to practice all these different saves. Chest.
Slap down save. That's spectacular over there. That's liquid Quidditch. Oh, God, no, that's got him in the face.
We've got to see the instant replay. Take that back. Oh, right in the face.
Looks great in slow motion.
Oh, he was looking so good up until that point.
Tension. Oh, that's a spectacular flip. I hope people didn't miss that at home. That is liquid trampolining. Is there anything this man can't do?
I don't think so. London 2012, I tell you. It's going to be
Hot
there.
new prospect.
I like this bit of bouncing. It's cool.
What an athlete.
I would say that is trampolining genius in action. That expertise is undeniable.
It goes without saying that when a man dedicates himself to being the best, there's nothing he can't achieve.
True. When he did that amazing save with his face, he just kept calm and carried on.
론의 티셔츠에 프린팅되어 있던 Keep Calm and Carry On을 언급한 것도 재밌네요. 이는 2차 세계대전 중 영국 정부가 사용한 홍보 포스터로 폭격이 예고될지라도 계속 일상생활을 이어가란 뜻입니다. 얼굴을 맞아도 계속 스턴트를 하는 루퍼트가 참 멋지죠. 지금까지 구경만 했다면 이제 몸을 움직여볼까요? 지팡이 액션의 기본 동작을 나탈리아와 함께 배워봐요.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I've got one fight training session. Want to come along? I think it's this way. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
How are you?
Who are you?
I'm Nat.
I'm Paul. You have to learn this wand process.
Yes.
A preparatory position for the delivery of a spell can be this position above the head. Okay, so when you deliver it from here, make sure that the wand comes into the eye line and then retract it back. Just blow him away.
Blow that man.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Exactly. Then the second position is a general open position for delivery, which is going through to here.
So the scary sound.
When you do it, turn this inwards so that there's like a powerful flick at the end of it, so there's a very solid, definite position on the end of it. Exactly. From here, bring the left leg forward and send the thing across you. Send the spell across you, but blocking, protecting your centre at the same time. So Send the spell across you. That's it, exactly. The fourth position, just turn into it and fire a shot behind you. But you just shot the ground.
Ah, yes.
Remember what's coming out at the end of the one. Okay, so just blow that scaffolding away. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I haven't shown you that one yet, have I? Oh, good, you did it though. Great.
With a coat.
Yes. Those are the 5 positions that we're using for attacking and for firing spells at an opponent.
Okay.
Those are the 5 that you need. So keep working on them, get them really clean, get the form and technique good, and then adapt it for the style of your character.
Next week your apprentice will beat the leg. Master.
That's it.
Perfect.
Thank you, Nat.
Thank you very much. I love one training. It's very cool learning how to fight.
Action on the vehicles. Go!
To become a stuntman, you have to go through so many years of training. So you have to be utterly committed and driven and in love with becoming a stunt person.
Stunts have got a bit more ambitious. Too much fun yet? To me, that's awesome.
Mark, you're over that.
It's the adrenaline rush which I think most stunt people live off, really.
One of the things I get asked after you jump, they're like, I don't know how you could do that. I would not be able to jump off there knowing that I've got to just land in an airbag.
We've really not seen anything like this.
unsung hero란 말을 들어보셨나요? sung은 sing의 과거 분사이고 거기에 부정인 접두사인 on이 합쳐지며 노래가 불러지지 못한, 즉 찬양받지 못한이란 뜻이 됩니다. 박지성 선수가 맨체스터 유나이티드에서 뛸 때 영국 언론이 박 선수에게 이 단어를 많이 썼었습니다. 우승하는데 아주 중요한 역할을 해냈지만 호날두와 루니 등의 슈퍼스타에 가려 주목을 받지 못했다는 의미죠. 해리포터 영화에서도 이런 분들이 있습니다. 없어서는 안 되는 절대적으로 필요한 존재이지만 자신을 드러내지 않았던 분들, 바로 스턴트들입니다.
Stunt doubles are a kind of unsung heroes of the industry, really. The crew for Harry Potter was coordinated by a guy called Greg Powell. Greg's been in the industry for many, many years, and he's got this team of people, and they're like a kind of football team of stunt players.
I've kept the same guys, the doubles, all the way through, because at the time the doubles was growing up with the kids as well, and they got to learn everything. They become very friendly.
저번 영상인 추격신 비하인드에서 언급했듯이 전설적인 스턴트 코디네이터인 그렉 파월이 해리포터의 스턴트들을 지휘했습니다. 그는 007, 분노의 질주, 미션 임파서블 등 액션 영화계에서 아주 전설적인 인물인데요. 해리포터는 워낙 장기간 프로젝트였기 때문에 배우들과 함께 스턴트들을 쭉 데리고 갔다는 점이 재밌네요.
Greg put Dan with David Holmes, and for 6 films, David and Dan would work out together. They became really good friends.
I built a great relationship up with Daniel. I used to be his PE teacher, physical training lessons. He used to have 2 or 3 lessons a week with me. I consider him one of my closest friends now, really. I love him to pieces. He's a real good boy. I'm very proud to be a part of his life and to see how he's progressed as an actor. It's been great.
Look over this way, Mark, so we can see you. That's it.
I started working in Harry Potter films around 7 years ago. My best friend, David, who was doubling Harry Potter, brought me up here. I met Greg Powell, and then lucky enough, Greg brought me up here and gave me a good opportunity to start performing in front of the camera and getting to know the stunt industry and the film industry.
Greg brought me on for the first film and I doubled for Dan. I could do some of the smaller stunts until I got too big, obviously.
주인공 해리의 스턴트는 데이빗이 맡았습니다. 이전 영상에서도 말했듯이 다니엘은 통합 운동장애가 있었기 때문에 데이빗은 스턴트 외에도 다니엘의 체육 강사까지 도맡았다고 합니다. 그리고 데이빗의 친구인 마크, 아역일 때는 톨가가 다니엘의 스턴트를 맡았다고 합니다.
I just got called for casting and came along and I just happened to be the right size.
I became a stuntman on Harry Potter about 10 years ago.
Poster in, Joe.
As Tom went on, Greg said one day, would you do this for Rupert Grint? So, I put his wig on and they dressed me up.
He gets a lot of fun kind of made out of him because of the wigs that he has. He's got some, really bad wig.
Nick does look utterly ludicrous with a red wig, if you've ever seen him close up. But from behind, he looks okay. He's fine.
엠마의 스턴트는 조, 루퍼트의 스턴트는 닉이 맡았습니다. 특히 루퍼트의 스턴트가 중년이란 점도 흥미롭네요. 아무래도 얼굴이 나오지 않기 때문에 신체 사이즈만 비슷하다면 외모보다 스턴트 능력이 훨씬 더 중요하겠죠. 스턴트들의 모습을 최대한 배우들과 닮게 하기 위해 가발을 씌우고 똑같은 커스튬을 입히는 점이 아주 흥미롭습니다.
Being a stunt double instead of a stunt performer is slightly different because you have to mimic them, you have to be as much like them as possible.
It all looks the same. Each person be a little bit more personalised with the moves to their character.
They can put a wig on you, do your makeup, etc. But if you don't move like them or speak like them, then obviously that's not the full package.
Dan is very flat-footed and keeps his shoulders quite still. And his arms do a lot, his lower arm does a lot of the movement. So yeah, I've picked that up. Ask him about his big head. Just say to him, so you've got a big head? Oh God. That's why I love him. That's why I love Dan, yeah. I've got a slightly bigger head than Dan, but only in physical terms. And also a plus side of having Mark W is that he has he's legendary for having a very, very nice bum. And it's great because he's doubling me in this scene. I've turned out looking very, very good as it turns out, so it's wonderful.
그린고트 잠입신에서 헬레나가 헤르미온느를 연기했던 것처럼 스턴트들 역시 배우의 행동 습관을 관찰하고 익히는 점이 재밌네요. 다니엘 역시 마크의 머리 크기와 엉덩이에 대해 말하는 거 보면 서로 얼마나 친하게 지냈는지가 느껴지네요.
In this one, there's a lot of battle scenes, and they've changed the whole one play. It's a lot more sword fighting, a bit more kind of manly.
Everybody ready? Iron bar! Close the door! Open the door! Shut the boots! And shut the guns!
With the spell throwing, it's a totally visual thing that you have to make up. You can't actually see the spell. That's something that'll be added in later.
No, that's it. So if you're there, and you've got it there. That's it, yeah.
You also have to look at where that person's aiming. So if they're aiming at your shoulder, you have to take the hit to your shoulder. Otherwise it'd look strange. So we do have to rehearse things and set them out.
It's almost like you've got to make that really fast. Do you know what I mean? And then relaxing.
We do have a lot of fun and we all do get on, but safety is the main reason we're here. So yeah, you have to keep your eye out for everyone.
Greg Powell assesses the stunt and decides whether it's fit for the actors or the stunts.
And my friend David, he done some amazing stunts before I was doubling Harry. Stunts are dangerous, that's why they're stunts and stuntmen. Obviously you try to reduce the amount of danger that you're involved in.
톰 크루즈처럼 신체 능력이 뛰어나 스스로 스턴트를 자처하는 경우도 있지만 일반적인 배우들이 스턴트를 하기엔 어려운 동작들이 많습니다. 그리고 무엇보다 부상에 대한 위험 부담이 너무 크고요. 우리가 미처 생각해보지 않았지만 스턴트들도 안무를 짜고 더 나은 장면을 위해 수없이 연습했었네요.
So we'll shoot this as a reference.
On the seventh film, we were doing some testing for one of the sequences. One when Harry was forced back, and it was always going to be a stunt that David was going to do, and it went wrong, and David was really badly injured and broke his neck, and is now in a wheelchair.
You know, it's not something that was new to me. It was a stunt that I'd done more than probably most of the stuntmen in the world, you know, with the film franchise that I was working with.
The spirit of David is amazing. He's incredibly enthusiastic, passionate, never stops.
I don't regret what I've been able to achieve, and going on that wire that day, it's one of those things. If you regret it, you don't learn from it.
The confidence and spirit that he helped give Dan, he now brings to his new life.
You know, it could have been anyone on that wire that day. It wasn't just me that was testing that day. It was anyone, and I'm almost thankful it was me. I sort of take it on. It happens to the people that are strong enough to deal with it.
10년이 넘는 촬영 동안 항상 행복했었던 건 아니었네요. 안타깝게도 해리의 메인 스턴트였던 데이빗이 죽음의 성물 촬영 도중 큰 부상을 입고 휠체어에 앉게 됩니다. 그 정도의 큰 부상에도 웃음을 잃지 않고 긍정적인 걸 보면 그의 프로의식과 열정이 큰 감동을 주네요.
I'm glad the stunt was being shot and it was shot well and it, you know, they've been able to achieve it and stuff.
Pleased to get that one out of the way, you know, after what we've gone through. It's been really good.
데이빗이 부상을 입었던 장면을 마크가 대신해 성공적으로 찍었습니다. 보기만 해도 엄청 위험했었다는 게 느껴지네요. 아무렇지 않게 봤던 장면이었는데 스턴트들은 정말 목숨을 걸고 찍었다는 게 실감이 됩니다.
We've been doing one with Harry and Voldemort, and that's actually quite different from anything we've actually done with Harry Potter. That's actually been quite hands-on. They end up going up there, and it involves them throwing a few spells at each other, and then the drawbridge drops away. That was quite exciting. It's usually a lot of spell throwing, so it's been a nice change.
Are you happy, Toga? I'm happy.
I'm doubling for Gregory Goyle, and I had to do a stunt for him where Malfoy, Blaise Zabini and Goyle were trying to get away from this dragon of fire which chasing them, and they choose to climb to the top of the pile of furniture. And for Josh, who plays Goyle, we also had to work out a specific route because they wanted him to fall from a certain place. And then when it came to doing the actual stunt, we didn't use any wires, and it was just literally a free fall.
Good boy. You all right? Hold on, mate. Toga? Good, thank you.
Once you've landed and you know it's all gone well, it's a good feeling.
There is a shot of them when they're jumping off a dragon, and we had to do the drop. It's supposed to be into a lake, but we broke it down.
They took us all up to about 100 foot on a wire and dropped us into an airbag.
3, 2, 1, go!
It gets your adrenaline going because you always have a weight as well because of the camera crew and things, so you kind of have to think, okay, I'm not just dangling by a string. I'm kind of sitting on top of a hill or something.
I like the sort of feeling of jumping off stuff and falling from quite high and then landing.
와이어를 이용해 자유낙하, 때론 더 실감나는 장면을 담기 위해 와이어 없이도 떨어지기도 하네요. 특히 마지막 편인 죽음의 성물은 전쟁 영화의 모습이었고 워낙 육체적인 액션씬이 많아서 더 위험한 장면이 많았던 것 같아요.
By the time we've finished 10 years, it's going to be difficult, I think, for everyone. You know, we've had a great time.
I was the Harry Potter stunt double. You know, how many people can say that in their life? It's been really nice to come here at the start, just as nothing really, just come here just to help out and just to have a look around, just as an experience, maybe to tell my friends I went and saw Harry Potter. And now 7 years later, yeah, I've been very, very lucky to double the lead character in a very, very big film.
On the first film, I was told I was going to do 4 days of filming, and then 4 days turned into 10 years after that.
I can remember when they were kids, and now they're like bigger than me, so yeah, it's been a good experience.
It's been my life for 7 odd years, here and there.
They've all shared something that is unique and special.
They look after each other. It's nice.
That's a good stunt.
And there we go. Tastes good though. Thank you. Well, you were really lucky, weren't you? You got to go around with Tom and Ollie and check out some of the really cool special effects that they do around the set. Yeah, that was actually so much fun. I'm really looking forward to watching this. Hi guys, my name's Matt Lewis. I play Neville Longbottom.
Hi, I'm Oliver. I'm one of the better half of the Weasley twins.
My name is Tom Felton and I play Draco Malfoy.
We're here with Mark from the Special Effects Department at Harry Potter.
이번 투어 영상은 3명의 배우들과 함께 할 겁니다. 톰, 매튜, 그리고 올리버와 함께요. 특수효과 엔지니어인 마크가 자신이 만든 소품들을 하나씩 보여줄 거예요.
And we're going to be learning about all sorts of things, particularly these cauldrons in front of me. What happens here? Oh, okay. Right, how does that work then?
Try that.
With this?
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Ah, it's as simple as that.
It is.
That's very cool.
Just press the red button.
But there's got, I mean, what? I mean,
Well, what we've got is we've got a bottle of gas and we've got a electrically operated solenoid gas valve, which is what we're doing. So it's just simply opening and closing a valve, and then we've got a little tiny piece of firelighter, which is just going and
that's just sat in there,
to
is
ignite
it?
the gas as it comes up.
And it comes.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah.
What about the knitting needles there?
Okay.
So I'm sure that one now will be interesting. It took about 2.5 months to make this, get all the movement, and it does work accurately.
It actually knits when you want it
No,
to.
it won't. It
actually
pretends to
knit.
knit.
Sure.
But it's very. But you could. I think you could get it from this.
Oh, really? Okay, wow.
But it would take a bit more time than the film cycle. Yeah.
I thought this was all CGI, but it's not at all. I mean,
Well,
you guys,
no, it's not.
You guys actually make these.
Well, it's testament to good work, really.
Absolutely.
영화를 봤을 때 당연히 CG라고 생각했던 게 모두 소품이라니 정말 놀랐습니다. 혼혈왕자 때 진행한 인터뷰라 배우들이 모두 20을 넘긴 성인임에도 불구하고 재밌어하며 웃는 모습이 마치 어린아이들 같네요.
Pocket down, you've been paying more than galleons, my friend. We've got eyes in the back of our heads.
Last week we were filming in the Weasley shop, the Weasley Wizards Weasley shop, and there's quite a few good things now. There's this. So if you open it,
Please, enlighten me. What is that? Whoa!
I like it. Oh, it's cool, yeah.
It's air operated, so we can put the arrows up your arm.
That looks like a great bit of fun.
Yeah.
Can I possibly have a quick go?
I'm sure you. Yeah.
Bosh! That was millimetres away. I did notice a lovely notebook here. I was hoping you could talk me through it. I believe this is Rita Skeeter's.
It is.
Lovely.
I'll show you how it works.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to.
The magnets. There's a little magnet on the end of the pen.
Okay, so you just sort of connect that in.
Connect it into there.
Yeah, sure.
Hold that.
Yeah, can do.
And you can pop it there.
Okay.
So
Have
you
a go.
push that forward, and it goes along.
Wow.
And then
He's going back in
and it flicks back like
Yeah. So how long would this take to construct then?
That was about 3 weeks to make that.
3 weeks? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You're really writing a novel there, I think.
Well, thank you so much for this. It's been incredible. It's really opened my eyes to all the stuff you guys get up to. Thank you. We had such a great time learning about all the practical effects there.
리타 스키터의 노트도 움직이는 소품이었다니 수작업으로 소품 하나하나를 만들었다는 게 정말 신기하네요.
That Tom met up with John Richardson, the special effects supervisor, to discuss some of the effects that were used in the bathroom scene.
So, John, I hear you're the man to ask about the bathroom scene. I'm deadly intrigued now to find out what was involved with that.
Well, we did lots of things, as you no doubt saw, which included lots of warm water.
I dread to think.
About 1,000 gallons of hot water.
Yeah, I can imagine. There was a lot of water on the day. It was very pleasant to be sort of halfway through the scene and all of a sudden you feel this gush of warm water down the back of your neck. Lovely.
Yeah, we could have got down there with you, actually.
Obviously, John, at the end of each take, it's a painful amount of resetting to do. Did you have some pumps?
Well, we had
out?
pumps to get it in and pumps to get it out and dryers to dry it off.
Of course, yeah, I did see
the
big tubes trying to sort of blow hot air everywhere to try and...
Yeah, we had everything going. It was just a myriad of the usual sort of magic things we do.
Sure.
There was squibs, mirrors breaking, pipes bursting.
Lots of it.
Holes through
How did you get the mirrors to smash exactly? Because it seemed very, very orchestrated.
Little compressed air devices behind them.
Okay.
And the mirrors were sandwiched in little plastic sheets so that you didn't get bits of mirror flying everywhere.
Okay.
But it was enough to crack it and smash it.
Okay.
But not
to
shatter
throw it everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, very clever. So our safety was paramount. Well, I'm pleased to hear it. Pleased to hear it. John, it was definitely the most memorable scene of my time here. So I thank you for all your hard work and appreciation.
My pleasure. Let's do it again on the next one.
Fingers crossed. Let's do that.
That stuff was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really cool. I'm jealous I didn't get to come with you guys.
톰은 특수효과 감독님인 존 리처드슨을 만났습니다. 존은 에얼리언 2로 오스카상을 수상한 특수효과 분야의 전설적인 인물입니다. 해리포터 시리즈의 특수효과를 성공적으로 총감독하셨으며 죽음의 성물을 끝으로 영화계에서 은퇴하셨습니다. 화장실 장면에서 봤던 물난리가 CG가 아니라 하나하나 계산해서 만들어진 효과였다고 합니다.
Oh, the special effects room. Let's take a peek. Hello, what's your name?
Okay, it's Mark Bullymore.
Hello, Mark Bullymore.
This is the special effects department.
Uh-huh. And that's where you make these?
We do.
Look at that. Look at that door. Look how cool that is. That's from the first one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it just, wow. Oh, I'm not going to touch it. Have I broken anything?
No, you haven't. No.
Okay.
Just come on the plugs.
So many wires. There's millions everywhere. quite dangerous territory, isn't it, if you don't know what you're doing?
And we've got battery operated ones, but this is just the prophecy that I'm looking for.
Can I bounce? Is it if I?
No, don't.
Okay, I will hold it very still. I have power, you know. Whoa. Wow.
Okay.
I think this is the coolest machine ever.
Hello, my lads. I'm Alex.
Hello, nice to meet you.
I'm the props art director.
Did you do all of this?
Well, actually, these guys are in Grimmauld Place, so the creatures department did these.
They're
Good
amazing.
people.
They're geniuses.
And the broom's over there if you just want to be reintroduced to your broom.
Maybe. I've got to name it. I don't know what to call it. She's so lovely. Look at her.
So you've got to get
It's
used
not
to
too
it. It's not too, yeah, I was going to say, as long as you don't
work.
think it's too heavy. This is really interesting. We took off the bark off a branch.
Yeah.
And there's a steel pole inside, a titanium pole inside there that we stuck it onto, and then we waxed it and polished it up. But we really like the sort of magical quality of this.
Wood.
And matches your hair.
Yeah, there is bits of purple.
Matches your
Small
hair.
shades. And this, I love it.
각각의 캐릭터에 맞게 빗자루를 디자인했다는 걸 아셨나요? 대충 보면 다 똑같은 빗자루 같지만 디자인이 다들 제각각입니다.
My name's Pierre Bahana. I run the prop making department for all the Harry Potter films since HP1. And we're in one of the workshops at the moment that where the work gets done.
해리포터 덕후라면 굿즈 모으기에 관심이 있을 건데요. 오늘은 영화에서 쓰였던 오리지널 소품을 구경해봅시다. 여기 인상 좋아 보이는 분의 이름은 피에르 보아나이며 소품 제작 부서에서 첫 영화부터 쭉 일하셨다고 합니다. 빗자루, 스니치, 죽음을 먹는 자들의 마스크, 그리고 지팡이까지 해리포터 세계관 속 신비로운 소품 메이킹을 함께 보시죠.
So welcome to our broom closet. This is where we store a lot of the brooms that we manufacture in the prop making department and be taken around the green screen room made to look to fly. In this film, there's a big sequence when they come out of Privet Drive and try to escape the Death Eaters. So we have there's 3 firebolts, which obviously all the Harrys fly on. There's Moody's one, which has featured before. There's a wonderful Easy Rider. The way that he rides it, sits back with his feet forward. Each broom has been designed with the concept of who it's for. So it's, yeah, they're very strong individual brooms. This was made for Harry, or for Dan, when he was a 10-year-old boy. It's one of the first things I remember when I first met him, was to fit him to this broom. So you can get the idea of difference in size compared to the adult brooms which you've looked at before. So it's a tiny.
해리가 호그와트에 입학하고 유일하게 다른 학생보다 잘했던 게 비행술이었습니다. 소설에서는 릴리의 편지에서 알 수 있는 사실인데요. 시리우스가 해리의 첫 생일 선물로 빗자루를 선물했는데 고작 1살이었던 해리가 빗자루를 자유자재로 탔다네요. 제임스와 릴리의 아들답게 아기 때도 마법력이 상당했던 것 같아요. 영화를 볼 때 못 느꼈는데 어린이용과 어른용 빗자루 사이즈가 차이가 났다는 게 새롭네요. 말이 나온 김에 비행에 대해 더 알아볼까요?
And the flying, of course, has become quite a dramatic thing over the years, and it was such a closely guarded secret.
Yes. Whereas now we'll just let you come in and film it.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a go at some point. Yeah.
See, now this is the thing, is that you're going to get on one of our new Quidditch brooms that's been around since the last 2 years.
Right.
Which is much nicer. Which has a bit more of a sort of tractor seat type affair for you to sit on, rather than the
razor knife.
Yes, rather than the bike saddle that it was before. Blood has been drawn from unpleasant places. We will put it like that.
Really?
Yeah. Ages ago. It's all healed up now. It's fine.
That's really.
It was fun, but at first, when I first started doing on the first film, it was kind of painful. But then it got fine.
Just talk us through sort of where we've been and some of the brooms that we've got here.
Okay, we've kind of got a slight history of broom making over the last 10 years, and we could start off here with the Nimbus 2000, which...
I love this broom. This was his first. This was how he
This is the first, yes, yeah. And it had a very strong styling because it had to to stand out compared to the school brooms like the one we've got above us here.
So this was just a bog standard?
Bog standard, yeah. So the idea was with the bog standard brooms was that they were almost like when you remember at school when you got your cricket bats out and everyone choose one, everyone had the last one, the ratty one with the bits missing.
The rubbish
it was
one didn't really fly straight, it was a bit rubbish, and never hit a six
never went
off.
left. This is from the film we've been working on at the moment. This has been built for Arthur Weasley. He loves his muggle design, he's great, so he's got proper bicycle pedals and bicycle cranks, but this is a lovely bit of design, it's a great idea of the bike bag on the back. These are designed and built so that they can be put onto rigs in the green screen and then they're thrown around the room, so they've got to be safe. So you actually have a broom here that's made of, it's got a titanium components, that's all titanium castings.
It actually looks like a shotgun as well.
Exactly, it's that butt of a gun. That's a titanium casting. Titanium arms here because you have to get it as light as you can, but also incredibly strong.
자동차에서 승차감을 논하듯 빗자루도 승차감이 있습니다. 불행히도 사타구니가 아프고 승차감이 좋지 않다고 하는군요. 영화에서는 그래도 자전거 안장이라도 넣어주지 실제로 빗자루를 탄다면 정말 아플 것 같네요.
The snitch has been with us since the first film. It's one of the first pieces we made. And this is one of the original ones from the first film with its wings on. And in practice, it's a very simple object. It's a golden sculpted ball with these brass etched wings that have been silver plated to produce this flying object. Obviously, the visual effects department animate the wings. And there's versions which the wings, in theory, fold in. It always seems to be on the move, I guess is the whole idea. To me, it's always a very dynamic prop. I loved it.
스니치는 마법 세계에만 존재하는 물건이죠. 원작에서 제임스가 스니치를 가지고 노는 장면이 있는데 그는 스니치를 30cm쯤 날아가게 두었다가 다시 낚아채면서 갖고 놀기 시작했다. 뛰어난 반사신경이었다. 웜테일이 경탄 어린 눈으로 그 모습을 지켜보았다. 굉장히 재밌어 보이지 않나요? 금으로 예쁘게 조각하고 날개를 붙이고 거기에 시각 효과를 이용해 자연스러운 모션까지 더하니 너무나 판타지스러운 소품이 완성되었네요.
The locket, we've produced actually over 60 of these lockets. On this film, there's two scenes, one where Harry and Ron try and destroy it and aren't successful. So we had to make repeat versions for the special effects department to blow up and try and destroy it. And then also for the final scene when it is destroyed, when it's hit by the Gryffindor sword, we've actually had to reproduce them all in pewter so that the blade can actually chop it in half.
호크룩스 중 하나로 가장 힘들게 얻었고 가장 힘들게 파괴한 슬리데린의 로켓입니다. 해리와 헤르미온느가 일반 마법으로 파괴하려는 장면을 위해 무려 60개가 넘는 로켓을 만들었다고 하네요.
So you have the POV of a Death Eater. You're looking through the back of a Death Eater mask, and let me take it from you. So I'll show you what you're looking through. So this is one of the several types of Death Eater masks that we've produced. They were based on Italian armour as a basic principle. Once we took a mould of the basic form, the basic shape, we would then produce the form in copper. We were then able to cut all these different designs on all the different types of masks. I think the whole idea with the Death Eater mask was that they're very individual. Everyone is proud to be a Death Eater, so they would obviously have these made for themselves. So we tried to put individuality into all the pieces.
영화에서 자세히 보지 않았는데 마스크 위에 조각해놓은 패턴이나 문양이 정말 정교하네요. 악역이라도 다양한 개성을 보여주려고 했던 제작진들의 노고가 대단합니다.
Tell me where it is. Tell me who possesses it.
Okay, so wands. Wands probably one of the most important props, if not the most important prop of the whole series of films, of what it's really all about. This probably the most important wand we'd ever make, Dumbledore's. Eventually we discover is the Elder Wand. This is a wand to beat all others, and it's quite fitting that it's English oak, the strongest wood you can get. I mean, every wand we make, there'll be a standard set of 6 wands. We make rubberized versions for when they're doing stunt work. And then also repeat versions when they're using second units. So there's always, several of them. In Harry's, we must have made at least 100, 150 of those wands over the last 8 or 9 years as we've gone through the films, and they get broken. So we actually have to try and make them as tough as we can. Daniel Radcliffe is always fiddling with this, because it's something to do. I mean, as you're waiting for things to happen with nervous twitches, so yeah, they do get broken.
마지막으로 굿즈 중 가장 흔하게 모으는 것이죠. 해리포터 하면 생각나는 소품, 바로 마법 지팡이입니다. 지팡이 역시 캐릭터의 개성이 나타나게 모두 다르게 디자인되었는데요. 머글이라도 왠지 손에 잡고 있으면 마법력이 생길 것 같은 물건이지만 열심히 마법 주문을 외워봐도 아무것도 일어나지 않네요. 이유는 올리밴더는 드래곤 힘줄, 유니콘의 꼬리털 같은 코어를 사용했지만 소품은 철심의 나무를 입힌 형태의 일반적인 지팡이라고 합니다.
Recently we've been putting together all the pictures of the work we've done, and every time I look through it, I'm reminded of stuff that I've completely forgotten about. And the things we've discovered and the knowledge we've gained through all the work has been colossal. So it's wonderful, wonderful 10 years.
The model shop. Let's see what they're up to today. Oh, cool. These guys are working on the centaurs. I can't believe they put these together. By building these models, the art department can get the details and scale just right. Then they send the models to the visual effects department to scan them into the computer and bring them to life. You guys should see this cactus. This is Neville's cactus. And whenever he's holding it, there's this guy off camera that operates it with a remote control. It's the coolest prop. It completely wiggles and squirms. I heard the others talking about how it fires this slimy goop. I'm so lucky I wasn't there on that day.
Welcome to the Creature Shop. At Leavesden Studios here, we do all the prosthetic makeup, animatronic creatures, CG models, anything like that. We maintain a load of things here for people visiting so they can just see stuff.
우리가 영화를 볼 때 실제 하지 않는 크리처 같은 걸 보면 그저 CG겠지 하고 넘어가는 경우가 많습니다. 그러나 오늘 이 영상을 보시고 나면 얼마나 많은 사람들이 해리포터 크리처들을 재현하려고 노력했는지 알게 될 겁니다. 오늘의 투어는 해리포터 모든 영화의 특수 분장을 맡았던 닉 더드먼이 가이드해 줄 겁니다.
And so in our foyer here, we have things like our hippogriff here and a thestral here, which are examples of two completely different approaches, because this is a CG model, in that it's a sculpt that's been painted and made to look lovely, but it's being scanned by a laser, and the creature itself is being built in the computer. This hippogriff is a functioning model, so this creature is basically a machine. When something actually has to move, it becomes quite difficult to manufacture. Every feather is cut individually, it's coloured individually, and glued on individually. And we made 3 of these things. So it's months and months and months of work for a large crew. But it's the only way you get something that actually moves like real flesh or like a real creature. The object of the exercise with any of these creatures, it's that it looks as real as possible, so that you can go totally close on it, and it can be seen, 100 feet across on a massive cinema screen in close-up, and it'll hold up.
해리포터 영화가 지금으로부터 22년 전인 2000년부터 만들어졌는데요. 사실 요즘에 비하면 기술력이 많이 떨어졌지만 지금도 큰 거부감 없이 즐길 수 있죠. 그 이유는 정성이 있을 겁니다. 특히 히포그리프는 깃털 한 땀 한 땀 붙여가며 만들었고 거기에 간절히 움직이도록 실제로 살아있는 것처럼 보이게 했다고 합니다.
And then through here, we have a whole variety of smaller objects. I mean, we have little dragon cages, Mad-Eye Moody's leg, monster books, shrunken heads, Mrs. Norris, Fang the dog. This is a stunt dog for the second movie, just because they were driving the car through the woods and you couldn't put the real dog in the back of the car. But this stunt dog did actually move by radio control, and it did dribble like the real dog as well, which we put in just really to upset Rupert, but it does work. We have werewolf suits, Dobby the house elf down here, and various goblin werewolf maquettes, and frozen bodies. In the second movie, the kids who get, Nearly Headless Nick, who get paralysed by seeing the basilisk. We made silicon dummies of those, which have to be shot in close-up, so they're very detailed. Goblins from the first film, these are background heads up here, so they're pretty crude. Nothing like the stuff we're producing at the moment. But, you know, for their time, they did the job.
다른 장르와 다르게 판타지는 이 세상에 없는 걸 만들어내야 하기 때문에 영화에 나오는 소품 모든 것이 직접 수작업으로 만들어진 오리지널입니다. 놀링이 책에서 할자로 묘사한 것들을 사실적으로 재현한 결과물이 신기하네요.
We tend to fill up the shelf space with maquettes, primarily because we have tours and things, people coming through and they see stuff, but it also reminds us, if we're going back to a character that's working, you know, if you're doing greyback, like these are all greyback maquettes. I mean, most of our characters, they start off as sketches, and then you progress to larger concepts, and after that, actual makeup pieces, things like that. So we leave these out because it just reminds people of the stages we went through to arrive at something, because sometimes you end up with something that's actually very simple, very straightforward, but the road to getting there is very complex. You're coming into the moulding area now, into our mould shop. This is where sculpts come to actually be moulded so that we can produce out of those moulds the flexible silicone or foam latex actual bits that get used. We do this for every single character, and I mean, if you look around the room, there's an awful lot of moulds here, but there are 40-foot containers on the back lot just filled with moulds from all 8 movies. They're all catalogued, you know, they're all photographed. It takes time to produce them, so it actually represents a huge volume of work. If you have a full-grown actor in, and his life cast is probably good for a couple of years, unless he, say, puts on a load of weight or something like that. Whereas the kids, they were completely different, especially in the early years. You know, they were dramatically different between movies. So we got them in and it was a whole new thing again, from scratch.
우리가 본 건 8편의 영화지만 영화를 위해 만들어진 소품과 모델들을 모아보면 박물관을 여러 개 만들 수 있을 정도로 엄청난 양인데요.
This is our art finishing department, and this is where all the silicone pieces come through to be painted prior to being stuck on people as makeups, or to be haired, where we put eyebrows in, like one hair at a time, all of that kind of thing. But this is where the art finish occurs. Because all our prosthetic makeup pieces are only used once, and then they're discarded, everything has to be reproduced. So everyone in here has to be able to not only paint very realistically, but they have to be able to reproduce the same paint job, exactly the same, time after time after time. And so something like this, which is a goblin prosthetic piece, there'll be a load of these, and they have to match. Not only do they get painted, but they have to be eyebrowed. I've asked them to make the eyebrows one hair at a time. They're punched in with needles, which is very, very slow, painstaking, repetitious work. We're in the animatronic shop here. Now, this is where basically we make the things move. Anything that requires a skeleton and an internal structure that is capable of motion ends up in here. Practically every piece of metal inside these things is made in-house, because to make everything fit together, you have to sort of do it from scratch. If you look at this, one of the reasons the movement is so nice and organic is, again, this is a very soft silicone skin. Every hair has been punched in individually. This is all bristle. And it makes the movement become very organic on the outside and just brings it to life. Hedwig has sort of been in all the movies at some point where the real owl is a problem, it's too noisy, you know, or it's flapping away in the background. You can put something in that you can control. These, at the moment, are being operated in a very simple way in that we're using radio control transmitters, the kind of thing you would use for a model aircraft. And Jim's operating at the moment, just moving things about. If something gets very complicated and you end up with a whole team of people having to use machines like this, you bring in a computer system and you program it so that you end up with a load more different movements, a whole number of movements, but being controlled by 1 or 2 people.
얼마나 많은 수고가 들어갔는지 느낄 수 있는데요. 특수 메이크업 피스가 일회용이었다는 게 놀랍네요. 하루 촬영하고 버리고 다음 촬영에 새로운 걸 사용하기 때문에 똑같은 걸 여러 개 만들어야 했답니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 털 하나하나 붙이는 디테일에 박수가 절로 나옵니다. 특히 피닉스는 2000년대 초반에 만들어졌음에도 불구하고 아주 자연스러운 움직임을 보여주는데요. 이걸 본 덤블도어를 맡았던 배우 리처드 해리스는 실제 새라고 착각을 했었다고 하죠.
But we do a lot of our big sculpture in here. We have our basilisk from Chamber of Secrets. This is the one that Dan actually stabbed through the roof of the mouth. You've still got all the stuff in it. It has nostril flare and it can open its mouth, and its tongue moved and its eyes moved. And it was on a rig along with about 25 feet of the body, so it was quite a big, very basic but big, tough animatronic. And we have the dead Aragog from Half-Blood Prince, which is pretty battered now, but made him completely differently because I wanted to be able to get light to come through the legs. I wanted it to be translucent, like a dead curled up spider you see in the bath. You know, if you catch the light, they look like they've gone hollow. And that's what I tried to catch with this, which did actually work very well, but it was an incredibly toxic material we made it out of, and everyone had to wear suits and gloves, and it was quite revolting to deal with. And over here we have an early concept piece for the Dementors from HP3. This particular model was made purely to see if we could capture the way a particular type of fabric behaved. This dragon model was specifically made to breathe fire. So this tongue piece here is actually concealing the gun of a flamethrower. It worked fantastically. I mean, it was really scary stuff, because it never occurred to me that when you actually release gas under pressure and ignite it, it's not just that you get a fireball, you get a very loud noise, and it made all of us jump out of our skins. I've been on this now nearly 10 years. I think the ability to put something that is a fantasy creature in front of people is actually the joy, it's the kick I get. You know if you get it right, if people react to a creature as if it's a real creature. You know, that is a hippogriff and it's standing there in front of you, and if you go near it, it'll bite you. You know, I've stood in a wood at night watching a dragon breathe fire. That is magic.
She's a costume designer.
네 번째 투어 영상으로 누나 역을 맡았던 이반나의 의상 투어를 가지고 와봤습니다. 해리포터 모든 시리즈의 의상은 제니 테미메란 디자이너분이 맡았습니다. 그녀는 스카이폴, 그래비티, 주디 등의 여러 영화의 의상 디자인을 맡았을 정도로 영화 의상 디자인계에서 경력이 아주 탄탄하신 분입니다.
Can you describe what your day is like in costume?
I read the script and then I try to think about it, and I try to design a costume for every character who is written in the script, and the crowd as well.
Even the extras and everyone?
Everybody. Everybody has to wear something that we have been thinking about before.
Yeah.
Because they have to fit in the world of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And they have to make a little ensemble who give the magie to the film.
When you meet the actors, do you ever change it?
Yes, I do. Because you can conceive something, but then when you see it on somebody, or when you see the personality of somebody, then of course you have to adapt it to their personality. Like when I met you, I knew that you were going to bring to the costume so much more, because first you had your own ideas about what you wanted to wear, and also because your physical character, your long blonde hair, your tiny size, it was something that we could adapt to the costume to make it even more beautiful or more convincing.
해리포터는 세계관이 뚜렷한 판타지 영화이기 때문에 최대한 기성복을 피하고 주연부터 다녀까지 의상을 디자인하고 제작했다고 합니다. 혼혈왕자 촬영을 위해 쓰인 직물이 무려 14km가 넘었다고 하니 그 노고가 엄청났다는 게 느껴지네요.
Do you have a favorite costume to design?
Well, I really think that your character is a very interesting character, because you are sort of, I'm not saying you are mad, but you are full of fantasy, and that's always nice to do.
Fun,
And this year we had, your Christmas dress was going to look like a Christmas tree, and it was wonderful to design, and also because you enjoyed that dress very much. It was quite a challenge to make a dress which was that mad, and at the same time that pretty. Because you do look very pretty in it. And when we made that dress, we were thinking about all the jewelry that you would wear with it. And then you decided to tell me about it, because that's such a lovely story.
Everyone thinks it's a reindeer, though, so You can call it whatever, but it's actually her hair for her Patronus.
Was it difficult to make? Because you made also last year for us your radishes. So you make your little radishes, and they were so much more beautiful than ours. So we kept yours, and you make your ring as well.
Yeah.
But
it's just
how
like,
long it takes you to make that?
That'll be about 45 minutes. Like the thing is, you don't have to get it perfect because it's Luna. You know, she's random, she's arty, and she doesn't want it to be. Like,
So you want to tell me that if it was not for Luna, you will have made it better than that?
Perhaps.
I don't believe you, because I think it's so perfectly made. It's lovely. And also what's nice is that in the construction where we put it, you have the feeling that he's running, that he's jumping.
Yeah, but you
and that's
had
really
this
nice.
idea with the ribbon. I thought
Yes,
that
let me see it on your wrist. Oh, look at that. Look at that. He's moving. Whoop, he's jumping. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think you did such a great job with that. I was very proud of you.
Thanks for talking to me, Johnny, and explaining all about the costume. And
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Okay.
And next year we're going to have even more beautiful costume for you.
Yeah.
Wow, well, Ivana's certainly pretty handy with those beads. Yes, Alfie, they are little pieces of art.
이반나가 루나 역을 맡을 수 있었던 이유가 루나란 캐릭터를 아주 잘 이해했고 그녀 스스로 자신이 루나와 아주 비슷하다고 느꼈다고 합니다. 그런 그녀의 의견을 제니가 잘 반영해 준 걸 알 수 있는데 자신이 만든 디자인을 철회하고 이반나의 소품을 선택했다는 점에서 타인의 의견을 존중하는 그녀의 인성을 엿볼 수 있는 것 같습니다. 보통 그녀 정도의 건이 잘하면 아역이라고 쉽게 무시할 수 있겠지만 아역 배우들의 이야기를 잘 듣고 그 의견을 반영했던 것 같습니다.
It looks great. Is this what you thought your costume would look like?
Yeah, it's pretty close, yeah.
Not too tight, because you shouldn't look that cool.
I've had a fantastic time working with Johnny and Richard and everybody on the costumes.
But it was hard to find a mixture between being a wee slave, being older, being married with a beautiful girl, living in a cottage by the sea, and having worked in a bank before. So all those elements was quite difficult. And then we thought, well, let's forget all about it and just make you look cool. That was a lot easier then.
Stand straight.
I mean, you shouldn't look too fashion conscious. So that's okay. So you pin it, we open it, we see how it looks like when it's open, and then you're free. Ça va, we finish.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, no, it's not much.
I think he looks very convincing.
Even the bracelets.
Yeah.
Everything is from us. He came naked. I mean, he should look really good. You should have a good feeling when you see him, thinking, "Oh, what a nice boy, beautiful girl, beautiful house, nice." But then it will be more. It will be more flashy for his wedding. We still have to do the wedding.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So for his wedding, it would be all glamour.
When am I wearing this? For the wedding?
What do you mean?
I didn't know, I'm not sure, I didn't know what, I thought I was wearing that one or something like that.
Yeah, but that one we were not happy because it was not slick enough for me, so we changed of tailor and we asked Master Keith to do it, because then it will have the best line in the world.
Very good. It's beautiful.
He has to weigh the Clémence, and Clémence is so beautiful. We had to do our best to put it up to that.
도널이 비레 역할에 캐스팅되고 커스튬 테스트를 하는 모습인데요. 누나의 의상 투어 영상에 나왔던 자니 테이머가 나왔네요. 그녀는 해리포터 모든 영화의 의상 디자이너로 일했습니다. 소설에 나온 캐릭터의 애모와 취향에 맞게 의상을 디자인하는 모습이 정말 흥미롭네요.
So we had to make you look even more beautiful.
Do you enjoy the costume process at all? I mean, is it something that kind of helps you understand your character?
Yeah, of course, yeah. No, it's amazing. Particularly, obviously, the people working on this are pretty exceptional as well, so you can kind of just stand back.
의상의 디테일을 하나하나 봐가면서 수정해 가는데요. 영화에 나올 잠깐의 장면을 위해 많은 전문가들의 노력이 있었다는 걸 다시 한번 깨닫게 되네요.
What about the length in the front?
So if you have just like one lens all around,
It might look like a mistake.
what do we do for the sleeve here?
A few buttons coming down here.
No, or we do it open.
Or a bit more shape, maybe.
What do we do in the front then? We do buttons?
I think I should take some of this front off. Do you hate that or not?
No, I like it. What about
This is where I just shut up and I just sort of go.
Yep. He's a good-looking Weasley, but he's a Weasley, so it's going to be superb. This is going to be your interview suit.
just to get used to it, can I just wear it in the plane home? That'd be great.
No.
No. Don't say the jacket.
I think it's quite nice, Richard. I'm happy. You happy?
Very happy.
Yeah. Eh ben, mon chéri, you can undress. We are finished.
Take a photo, was it a bit?
Photo. We take a photo.
Nice.
해그리드는 팽, 헤르미온느는 크룩쉔크, 그리고 필치는 노리스 부인을 애완동물로 가지고 있었는데요. 이들을 촬영하기 위해 촬영장에 훈련사와 동물들이 상시 대기하고 있었다고 합니다. 정말 없는 게 없는 해리포터 촬영장이네요.
Hello, who are you? I'm Julie Topman and I train Fang, Crookshanks and Mrs. Norris. This is Monkey, who plays Fang.
Hello, Monkey. Who plays Fang? Look how much skin it's got. It's just amazing. It's like, and look at that face. Hello. Hello, why are you so cute? Oh, it's so big, and it's 3, right?
He's 3 years old, yeah. I got him when he was about 8 months. He came from a rescue.
Was it in all of them? Was it in all of them?
No, he's actually been in the last 2, so hopefully he'll do the next one and then I'll retire him so he can just run around and play.
Chill out. Yeah. These ears are spectacular. And its mouth is amazing. It's actually uglier than a camel's mouth, which I've seen. And it's got an interesting smell to him. I quite like it. It's quite musty, but it's, you know, it's nice.
I think I'm a tiny bit like Harry, because I'd like to have an owl.
여러분은 부엉이와 올빼미의 차이점을 아시나요? 사실 올빼미는 부엉이의 한 종류라고 합니다. 그래서 부엉이가 더 큰 범주라고 볼 수 있죠. 영어로는 owl이며 영어권에서는 부엉이와 올빼미를 구분하지 않습니다. 그래서 해리포터 세계관에서도 이 둘을 구분하지 않죠. 예를 들어 해리의 애완동물인 헤드위그는 흰 올빼미였는데 올빼미가 맞는 말이지만 부엉이라고 불러도 전혀 틀린 게 아니라는 거죠. 그런데 퍼시 위즐리의 헐미스는 올빼미는 아니라고 하네요. 그래서 결론은 해리포터 세계관에서는 부엉이와 올빼미를 구분하지 않고 그냥 편하게 모두 부엉이라고 생각하시면 됩니다.
Hi, I'm Jessie Cave. I play Lavender Brown, and I've been given the chance to fly an owl today, or learn to fly an owl, or try to fly an owl. This is Guillaume, and you're an owl expert, aren't you?
Yes, I am owl trainer.
An owl trainer.
이번 부엉이 투어에는 라벤더 브라운을 맡았던 제시 케이브와 프랑스 동물원에서 일했고 해리포터 영화를 위해 부엉이 훈련을 했던 부엉이 트레이너 기욤이 함께 할 겁니다. 제시의 실제 성격이 영화 속 라벤더와 비슷한 것 같네요. 밝으면서 엉뚱한 면이 많이 보입니다.
How many animals are there?
For the owls, we have 27 owls.
How long have you been training owls, and how long do they generally have to be trained for?
I'm training owls, birds for over 12 years now.
12?
Yeah, and just for the base, like a bird come to you and make him stay somewhere, you need between 1 month and 3 months.
Okay.
And after, when you train to retrieve things, because owls are not the cleverest animals on the
Really?
world. No.
Are they stupid?
Whoa, did she just ask if they were stupid? Let's replay that, please.
Are they stupid?
I'm not going to say they're stupid, they're not very clever. And so that take a longer time, and that can take between 6 months and 2 years for a bird to learn properly how to pick up a letter and fly with.
That's a long time,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a big job. Yeah.
What about the wise old owl? Matt, I hate to disappoint you, but owls only look clever.
해리포터 영화를 보고 있으면 부엉이들이 꽤나 똑똑해 보이나 실제로 이들은 야생동물이며 굉장히 훈련하기가 어렵다고 합니다. 애완동물로는 당연히 부적합하고 하루에 8시간에서 12시간을 관리를 해줘야 한다고 합니다. 부엉이가 편지를 배달하는 역할도 하는데 이건 전적으로 해리포터 세계관의 설정입니다. 메신저로 유명한 새는 비둘기로 집을 찾아가는 그들의 습성을 이용한 거라고 합니다.
Give it. She's going. Come on, you.
Okay.
The wing make her fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's very pretty. I'd like to know more about Hootie. All the actors obviously have doubles.
Yes.
Which is quite disconcerting. Does, say, Hedwig have a double?
Yes.
Really?
When we shoot for one animal on a movie, you have minimum 3 animals behind.
Wow.
Because sometimes they can be sick, not feeling very well, Sometimes, if we shoot too long time, the animal can be tired.
So how many hours can Hootie work for before it has to go home?
They can do like 10 flies.
Should we get Hootie back over here? Can he come back?
No problem. What?
Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much for telling me all about Hootie. He's
No
been a
problem.
bit of a hoot.
Despite how wise Matt may think owls are, I hear they don't make very good pets, so none of you get any funny ideas and ask your parents to buy you a pet owl for your birthday. Well, in fact, one of our very own co-stars has joined the ranks of those working diligently behind the camera. Yeah, that's right, actually. James has been trying his hand as an assistant director. Or is it a production assistant? Well, it's more floor runner, really. But, I mean, you call him whatever you want. We're going to see how he's getting on.
위즐리가의 쌍둥이 프레드와 조지를 맡은 배우 제임스와 올리버는 그들이 맡은 캐릭터만큼 유쾌한 성격을 가지고 있는데요. 그중 제임스가 소녀랑자 촬영 중 배우들과 스태프들을 돕는 AD 부서에서 일을 했다고 합니다. AD는 Assistant Director의 약자로 연출을 보조한다는 뜻입니다. 제 채널의 비하인드 영상을 쭉 보셨다면 로버트 패틴슨 편에 나온 AD를 기억하실 거예요.
This is Philippa.
Hey, Philippa.
Hello.
What does Philippa do?
IAD Robert, in theory. Try and get into the chair on time.
There's a lot of ADs, and they basically tell you what you have to do. Because of that, you do feel like you don't have to worry about anything else other than your part.
이렇게 AD는 배우들의 스케줄대로 움직이게 가이드를 해줍니다. 이런 일을 제임스가 맡아 동료 배우들을 보조했는데 그의 친구들이 그에게 어떤 짓궂은 장난을 쳤는지 함께 보시죠.
Hi, I'm James Phelps. You may know me as Fred Weasley in the Harry Potter series. However, on this film, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, I decided to change the glamorous order in front of the camera to behind the camera, take part in the AD department. So I'm going to show you around and what I do. AD stands for Assistant Directors, so we're basically the go-betweens for every other department and make sure the actors are happy, make sure they're all on set on time, make sure every crew that needs to be told where they need to be are where they need to be at the time, making the whole studio pretty much work for the film. I think it's personally one of the most important departments going. Just because the AD department, you get to see everyone, every department working, you get to know every department's characteristics and what they do.
They're filming behind the scenes of the day in the life of James, which that's ultimately cringeworthy for him, because of course ADs don't get filmed, so I feel very sorry for him today, to be fair, but very funny nonetheless. I'm having a good giggle.
I haven't actually had to make my brother happy while ADing, because luckily I've been acting at the same time as he has, so I put back on the actor side of things and get things done for me. However, when I am running, I have to obviously go and make certain members of the cast cups of tea, get them drinks, get them sweets, you know, all that kind of stuff, which is quite, I mean, I don't mind doing it, but it's quite different doing what we used to get other people to do on previous films.
Yeah, I once asked James to get me a skyhook. Didn't see him for 5 hours.
What's a skyhook?
Exactly. Joker.
역시 짓궂은 동료 배우들은 AD가 된 제임스에게 장난을 쳤는데요. 매튜는 잊지도 않는 물건을 제임스에게 가져다 달라고 시켰다고 합니다. 톰과 루퍼트를 포함한 다른 배우들도 장난을 치며 그를 놀렸다고 하네요.
You know, Rupert and Matt do like to try and make me do a lot more than I maybe should.
I've made some quite ridiculous requests, I suppose.
James, you wouldn't mind getting me a drink there, please? Or, you know, it has to be done.
We've all given a fair amount of stick, I think. Rightly so. He's a traitor. He's betrayed the cast. Must be punished for that.
No, James has been he's been a valid member of the cast for a while. Now his brother Oliver's doing the ADing. It's really nice to have him on set, really. It's a shame James can't be here more, because I've really grown close with Oliver over the months, and it'd be good to see James when he comes back filming.
톰 펠튼의 이 인터뷰는 쌍둥이에 대한 농담인데요. 처음에 저는 올리버가 AD로 일하는 걸로 착각한 줄 알았는데
Now his brother Oliver's doing the ADing.
뒤에 문장도 아예 말이 안 되거든요. 사실 톰은 둘을 분명하게 구분할 수 있다고 합니다. 올해 나왔던 리턴 투 호거트에서 제임스와 올리버를 바꾸는 자막 실수가 있었는데 톰이 이를 알아보고 웃기다며 인스타에 올렸다고 하네요. 해리포터 팬들 사이에서도 제임스와 올리버를 구분하기 힘들다는데 10년 동안 촬영을 같이 한 톰에게는 아주 쉬운 일이겠네요.
The thing that we like to do to pass the time, even though we're not really supposed to, is race the golf buggies that we have here. The smaller ones are pretty slow, so my favourite is normally this big one, which is quite quick. We've got a nice causeway here, it's quite a nice little racetrack, so yeah, I'll see you later.
He's actually incredibly professional about the whole thing. I thought he'd be sort of messing around thinking it's alright, I'm an actor as well. But he's not, he takes his job incredibly seriously.
Pretty good at it, very organised and stuff and telling you what to do.
I think it's great that he's actually trying to do something else, not just resting on laurels and just acting and stuff. I think it's great.
This is David Yates' chair, who's the director. So it's probably the most important chair on the set. So it has to be clean and ready to be used at all times. Next to his is Bruno, who's the director of photography. He's the second most important person on the set, as he's in charge of lighting the set. Two very important chairs, guided by a very important member of the crew. No, sorry, Paul, thank you. Yeah, cover iron coming in now. I've just been called off to work back on set. But, you know, hope you enjoyed my showing you around the other side of the camera. You've seen the glamorous side that the actors have. This is where the real work gets done. So thank you very much and have a good day.
This is the graphics department, and Eduardo, they basically do all the graphics in all the Harry Potter films. Everything from the Daily Prophets to all the school books to the sweet wrappers. In fact,
Can I show them this?
Yeah.
This is this amazing map. I'm going to be very careful with it. I will not break it. Okay, look, it's amazing. It's like a magic secret thing. And look, if you look really close, there's real stairs in the map. And it goes all the way down into the Room of Doom. I really wish I'd been given a Marauders map at the beginning of Harry Potter. The place is so huge. I still got lost at the end trying to find the set, and then I was late all the time.
영화에서 미술은 큰 비중을 차지합니다. 특히 판타지 영화인 해리포터는 대부분의 소품이나 배경이 일상생활에 없는 것들이라 상상력을 발휘해 창조해내야 하죠. 머러더스 맵도 역시 롤링의 소설에서부터 나온 그저 할자로 설명되어 있던 것을 그래픽 디자이너들이 시각적으로 멋지게 재현한 것입니다.
Quibbler magazine. There's so many details kind of within the books. Do people get to see it all?
Now I think this is a kind of Harry Potter thing, and Stuart, he's really good on that, and everyone just follow him. And Stephanie, everything is so detailed. So it's already now a mind that everything needs to be
not kind of empty books.
No,
I can see now that there's so many different things in the film industry that I don't think people really realise are here.
실제 상품을 만드는 것처럼 상품의 이름을 짓고 포장지도 모두 디자인했다고 하네요. 이 작업들이 워낙 완벽해서 해리포터 테마파크에 이 제품들이 그대로 쓰였다고 합니다. 영화로 봤을 땐 그저 몇 초로 스쳐가는 장면이었지만 많은 스태프들의 시간과 노력이 있었다는 걸 다시 한번 깨닫게 됩니다. 다시 나탈리아의 투어로 넘어가 소품과 무대 미술에 대해 더 살펴보죠.
Sorry, Gary, this is Matt.
Hello.
Hello. Gary,
Nice to meet you, Gary.
So,
What are you doing? What's in there?
in here, it's quite messy. It's my area.
Oh, it's not messy at all. It looks very tidy. Wow,
So-
did you draw all this?
Yes, for this film, we're using Hogsmeade Village quite a lot. And although we saw it briefly in film number 3, on this film, we see the kids walk through the village. So we need the whole extent of the village. So from that original concept sketch, we then make, the white card model. Where would
They're
you like to
little
live?
Dutch houses.
Some
Like
of
the
them.
front, like the architecture.
Yes,
I
those
love
ones
it.
are.
How amazing are the Harry Potter artists? All the detail. I mean, it's just incredible. I, on the other hand, failed art when I was 15.
게리가 작업했듯이 처음엔 스케치로 시작해서 화이트 카드 모델로 만들어 감독과 제작자에게 보여준다고 합니다.
Here we are in the art department. This is Martin.
Hi.
And Martin is going to tell me something about this, like what all this is.
Okay, what these are, white card models. We use these to show the director and all the crew what we're going to build. So this is the atrium set, part of the Ministry of Magic, and this is the actual scale model of what we built down on the stage.
해리포터에서 가장 화려한 세트 중 하나죠. 마법부 역시 이런 가정으로 만들어졌습니다.
Moving on. Oh, you guys have to check out the atrium. I was in here the other day filming and I could not stop staring. It's the coolest set. Oh look, there's Stuart Craig, the production designer. Oh no! Hey Stuart, what are they doing to your beautiful set? They look like they're destroying it.
Well, I'm actually quite used to sets being destroyed. I mean, they're built to last a few days and then you tear them down. That's what a movie set is. So this is the beginning of the big confrontation, and so we're breaking glass. We've taken all the glass out of the windows, replaced it with shards of glass. We've ripped the blinds, and the destruction begins.
Thanks, Stuart. The inspiration for this set was the real London Underground. If you ever go down there, it's the craziest place. It's all these circular tunnels and ceramic tiles, kind of Victorian. I better get out of here. It looks like they're about ready to start.
스케치와 카드 모델로 제작자의 승인이 떨어지면 드디어 세트장을 짓습니다. 이렇게 어렵게 만들어진 세트장이지만 영구적이지 않아요. 마법부 같은 경우는 영화 스토리상 큰 전투가 있어서 부쉈지만 대부분의 영화 세트장은 촬영 후 철거됩니다. 다행히 해리포터 시리즈는 워낙 성공적이었기에 일부 세트장은 철거를 안 했고요. 현재는 관람객을 허용하여 투어가 가능합니다.
This is called Trailing Tonks, and it's following me, Nat, who plays Tonks, on the Harry Potter set. Enjoy it, guys. Alright, where should we head to next? I hear some laughing. What's going on over here?
당시 불사조 기사단 촬영 중이라 피로 예방 세트장이 있었습니다. 덤블도어의 군대가 훈련했던 장소를 구경해 봅시다.
Man, this is such a busy set today. Oh look, there's Dan.
Thank you very much. Do you want me to grab one for the pocket?
Oh yes, thank you very much. Hey, he gets 2 wands. Guess you do if you're Harry Potter. Hey Dan, why does your wand look so different to mine?
I know. You see, the thing is, this is a rubber one. And some of the... Well, you can see it's falling apart. I think the record is with Devon Murray for breaking the most wands throughout the films. I think it's about 10, which is quite impressive. You know.
쉐이머스 역을 맡았던 데본이 지팡이 10개를 망가뜨렸다고 놀라는 다니엘인데 정작 그는 10년 동안 몇 개의 지팡이를 망가뜨렸을까요? 그 엄청난 숫자에 제대로 충격받은 다니엘입니다.
Of course, one of the things that's going to be important in this battle is your wand. And speaking to Pierre, who devises, creates, and makes all these extraordinary props, he was telling me, a little secret, you have gone through, worn out, Daniel Radcliffe, 80 wands over the last 10 years. Yes. What on earth have you been
80?
doing? 80. 80. 80.
I thought you said 8.
No. 80. You have...
Wow.
Not 18, not 8. You have ruined... No, let's not say ruined.
Wow.
What have you been doing?
So sorry, Pierre. I don't know how I have managed to break that many wands. I know I drum with my wands a lot. So I bang them against my leg and sort of do some rhythm, you know, and that's when people say things to me like, can you drum, Dan? I said, no. He said, no, I thought not. That's the kind of time people say that to me. But yeah, so I really don't know. I just feel very bad.
You've not been sneaking them off set somehow?
I really haven't been. I'm not the person selling them on eBay, I promise. Yes, so that's your bit of knowledge for today about wands.
Alright, cheers, Dan. Hey, what are they doing over here? Oh, you have to meet my mate over there. You're gonna love her. Hey, no photos! Ah! Alright, enough of that. Let's move on. The Room of Requirement set is awesome. You know, I haven't really shown you many of the sets here at the studio yet. What was I thinking? It'll take too long to walk. Hey, let's jump in this buggy. It'll be quicker. Hold on. I think it's down here. Man, my buggy's fast. Wait till you see this.
또 다른 세트장으로 그린몰드 가로 가볼까요? 블랙 가문의 집으로 불사조 기사단의 본부로 사용되었던 곳인데요. 방 하나에 모든 벽을 두른 블랙 가문의 가게도 테피스트리가 인상적이었죠.
First up, Grimmauld Place. It looks like they're filming some scenes with the Weasley family. Shh. If we're quiet, they won't even know we're here.
Now a little bit of drapage, I think.
Good, very good, guys.
Look how long the kitchen is. Grimmauld Place is really unique because it's designed with all these weird angles, long hallways and high ceilings, so that it would look like it was squeezed between 2 houses. They also made this room-sized tapestry of Sirius Black's family tree. The tree was actually painted onto the fabric.
Hello, I'm Warwick Davis, aka Professor Flitwick. Oh. I'll take some time out really to take you on a small behind-the-scenes tour of Leavesden Studios. I shall take you upon my Segway around the studios for a glimpse, like no other, a glimpse behind the magic.
안녕하세요. 이번 영상은 플리트 교수와 그리프으로 출연했던 워윅 데이비스가 세그웨이를 타고 스튜디오 투어를 하는 영상입니다. 흥미로운 점은 죽음의 성물 촬영 당시라서 그 당시 스튜디오를 볼 수 있다는 건데요. 그래서 지금 런던의 해리포터 스튜디오에 가도 볼 수 없는 세트장도 있었습니다. 그럼 지금은 보고 싶어도 볼 수 없는 촬영 당시의 립스덴 스튜디오를 함께 보시죠.
We spend so much time here in Leavesden and we really kind of function in our own little bubble. We wake up, we drive into work, and then we drive home and we're with our family and our friends.
The place in itself has a lot of significance for me, just because it's somewhere I've been coming to since I was 11. And it's a wonderful adventure maze.
Action.
What better place to start than right here on Privet Drive, behind number 4. Of course, the place where Harry lives.
There's no such thing as magic.
Privet Drive is one of the longest standing sets here at Leavesden. And each time we come to film on this set, they cut the grass and they pull up the weeds and make it ready for filming.
Cut there, thank you.
The departure of the 7 Harrys from Privet Drive. It's very interesting because in the pavement here, you see different markers. There's one there. They were the markers for the different characters involved with the scene.
1, 2, 3, go!
제가 런던의 해리포터 스튜디오에 가서 봤을 땐 프레벳과 거리 전체 세트장은 없었고 해리가 살던 4번 건물과 옆집인 3번 건물 이렇게 딱 2개만 있었거든요. 그런데 촬영 당시에는 10채가 넘는 집들이 줄지어 있었고 앞마당의 잔디밭까지 실제 동네처럼 보이게 꾸며져 있었네요. 프레벳과 같은 경우에는 촬영 초기에는 실제 가정집을 빌려서 촬영했다는데요. 매번 집을 빌리는 게 집주인에게 미안해서 아예 스튜디오에 세트를 지었다고 하네요. 특히 7명의 해리 촬영 당시에 빗자루 촬영을 어떻게 했고 세트장이 실용적으로 어떻게 사용되었는지 볼 수 있어서 재밌네요.
Let's leave Privet Drive now. We'll head off and see what else we can find here on the back lot at Leavesden Studios. So this here is the canteen. This place feeds an army.
촬영 당시에 배우들이 쉬던 컨테이너도 보이고 배우들과 스태프들이 이용하던 커다란 식당까지 있었습니다.
We'll travel out through this door now. Let's go down here. I'm going to demonstrate some of the magic of Harry Potter now by levitating this door. Check that out, check that out. We've come in now to one of my favourite sets. But this is one of the oldest sets here at Leavesden. It's the Great Hall here at Hogwarts. And this would, of course, at times been full of hundreds of Hogwarts students. And down there at the end, below the big window, would be, of course, the faculty of Hogwarts School. And I still recall my first day coming in here and being placed at that head table and feeling very, very important. Looking to my left, in the centre there, was, of course, the late Richard Harris. And next to him there, Maggie Smith. And on my right, Alan Rickman.
Let the feast begin.
It is the most wonderful place, one of the great sets here at Leavesden. One that's been a huge part of Harry Potter for the last 9 or 10 years. Okay, leaving now.
그리고 1편부터 쭉 사용해왔던 해리포터 세트장의 메인 랜드마크인 그레이트 홀의 모습도 볼 수 있었습니다. 지금 런던을 가도 1세트장은 온전히 볼 수 있는데요. 그 이유는 다른 일반적인 세트장 같이 겉모습만 흉내내는 세트장과 다르게 그레이트 홀은 처음 지을 때부터 리얼스톤을 사용했다고 하네요. 그래서 많은 제작비를 필요로 했지만 영화 8편과 지금까지도 수많은 투어로 수입을 낸 걸 보면 정말 탁월했던 선택이었던 것 같네요.
So we'll come back outside. Now look who's up there. You never know what you're going to see here. 1 minute we're in Leavesden, the next minute we are in London. We can see this because we are magical. To a muggle that would appear invisible, it is of course Grimmauld Place.
In you go, son.
It's a complete street we're looking at. But if we want to film that direction, we see there's some green screen there. And in post-production, of course, they would, recreate the rest of the street running right down there.
런던 해리포터 투어에서 아쉽게도 그리몰드 플레이스의 모습은 볼 수 없었는데 촬영 당시의 세트장을 볼 수 있어서 반갑네요. 세트장에서 1분 거리에 런던의 모습을 느낄 수 있다는 점이 마법 같기도 하네요.
I get so excited about going here. You go in and you don't know what to expect.
A lot of places have become landmarks of Leavesden, so very sentimental place.
I still get a shiver when I walk into those sets because it's very, very magical, literally magical.
They worked so hard because when they weren't filming, they were being tutored. And they were always jolly. I don't know how they did it.
You have to do steals and then you have to go to school.
해리포터는 호그와트라는 마법 학교를 배경으로 이야기가 전개됩니다. 이 때문에 주인공을 비롯한 많은 캐릭터들이 10대인데요. 실제로 배우들 역시 캐릭터의 나이에 맞게 캐스팅되었는데 많은 아역 배우들이 연기를 위해 학업을 포기한 게 아니라 촬영장 안에서 공부를 했다는 걸 알고 계셨나요? 해리포터 촬영장 안에는 많은 선생님과 심지어 교장 선생님까지 있는 학교 시스템이 있었다고 합니다. 이로써 아역 배우들은 하루 3시간은 필수적으로 공부를 했다고 하죠. 즉, 마법 학교인 호그와트 안에 수학과 과학 등을 가르치는 머글의 학교가 있었던 겁니다. 헐리우드에서는 스타 시스템이라 많은 아역들이 어린 나이에 엄청난 부와 명성을 얻어 감당을 못해 망가지는 경우가 많은데 영국은 일반 아이들과 다름없이 교육을 제공하고 촬영을 했었습니다.
Do you find that exhausting? It sounds terribly exhausting to me.
People say I have a lot of stamina. Stamina of an ox. But I don't know if it is a good thing or a bad thing. Because I've never met an ox.
School? No, I love it. I have a great tutor, and I really enjoy myself actually.
My tutor, Ken Harder, he's really, really nice and he's made it so brilliant.
Rupert and I actually had classes together when for the first 2 films.
First 2, yeah.
You used to have to do times tables, like 100 of them in under a minute or something.
Oh, yeah,
See how many you got out of 100.
Yeah.
Emma and Rupert to school, please.
Artist go to school, thank you.
The education is really important for us. We have teachers, we have a headmistress.
What year are you in?
Because they converted a load of office space to like a little school, really. And basically, when we weren't on set, we were in a classroom.
They had to do their 3 hours every day. There was no two ways about it.
Sometimes if you were having a quiet day, you could do some up to 5 hours, which was really grueling. So you were always begging to go down to set.
So if you go, boys and girls, lovely school.
On a practical basis, it's most certainly challenging because you have the kids are going off to education, and now for lunch, 15-minute breaks every hour. And so you end up with only 4 hours approximately, give or take, of shooting a day.
You guys should be moving that way. It's great. You guys all ended up right here, right?
All the kids took absolutely as natural the idea of stopping in the middle of an important scene, perhaps after a key take, they have to go to school.
We can let everybody go off to lovely school. Oh, school. All right, we'll go to school and you can stay here. Yeah, here you go.
I just remember not being able to concentrate. You know, I'd come off set and be bouncing around having just done something, and then to be expected to sit down and do maths or geography, I was just like, you kidding me? No way! You've got to be joking.
I've not done any of my essays.
Rebecca Thompson.
I've seen her in today.
No, she's gone home with a bad back.
Hello.
This is the tutor we're talking about.
here.
It sounds terrible, doesn't it? But we didn't do our homework, so we're all very happy that she's ill. Sorry, Jane.
Yeah. We love you, Jane.
The tutors were fantastic. You know, I passed all my GCSEs, all my A-levels. I might have done it grudgingly, but now I look back and I'm so glad I did it. Really glad I did it.
지금부터 ним파도라 톡스 역을 맡은 나탈리아가 촬영장 곳곳을 가이드해 줄 겁니다.
Hey look, it's Matt and Alfie playing cricket. I think they should actually be at school. How are you guys doing? What are you up to?
Usually me and Alfie go training with the stunt guys at lunchtime. But I hurt my foot last night, so I'm not trained today.
Do you always train at lunch?
I sometimes do homework I should have done the night before, which I should actually be doing now. I've got some in for one of the tutors, which I haven't done. I'll get it done though, don't worry.
Doesn't matter to me, I'm not your mum. Whoa, it's a good thing you guys are practicing.
Haven't been doing much exercise recently, actually. Been slacking off on the training, so... It's true.
even a quick couple of minutes playing cricket.
It's a hot day, and you know,
In our excuse, I think we're making excuses. I think we're pitifully unfit.
매튜와 알피가 점심시간에 크리켓을 하는 걸 보면 마치 남학생들이 축구를 하는 모습이 자연스럽게 떠오르는데요. 이는 촬영을 하면서도 일상적인 학교 생활을 했다는 걸 알 수 있죠. 그들의 뒤편엔 건물 한쪽이 텅 빈 프리비가 세트장이 있는 게 재밌네요.
It is hot out here. Let's get back inside. Alright, where should we head to next? Oh, here's the bikes. Let me tell you about these. Hello. These are loads of bikes that everyone rides around in because it takes so long to get everywhere. We get buggies. How cute are the Harry Potter bikes? Hopefully next year when I do the next film, I'll get one with my name written on it too.
촬영장이 워낙 컸기 때문에 많은 스태프들이 자전거를 이용해 이동했다고 합니다. 배우들은 메이크업 후 땀이 나면 안 됐으므로 골프카트를 타고 이동했다고 하죠. 배우들은 물론이고 스태프들도 많았기 때문에 촬영장 안에는 이들에게 음식을 제공하는 큰 식당이 있었습니다. 끼니를 때울 수 있는 그저 그런 식당이 아닌 나탈리아의 말로는 음식이 너무 맛있어서 살이 많이 쪘다고 하네요.
This is like Mecca here. It's amazing. Shall we enter? These are the lovely, lovely people that feed us every single day. Without them, this could not be done. Look at him, look at how nice he is. Right, I'm gonna serve someone something. I'm gonna serve him. Oh, don't be camera shy. Come on. Whoop whoop. No one apparently wants to get served by me. What is it? Would you not trust me?
Carry on.
Oh, what would you like?
Thank you, madam. Can I have
Some cauliflower, right. All right, darling, how's your day been? Has it been hard?
Yes,
Yeah,
well,
man.
thank you.
I don't know, slaving away in the bloody kitchen all day.
Just a few beans, please.
Few beans. What, like 4?
Oh, no, not that few.
Like that? Bit more? Like that?
That's lovely.
There you go. Oh, no, like that? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm not very good at this. It's my first day. I'm blatantly gonna get fired. Would you like some, no. This? Would you like some spots? Ooh, look at the little dots. Look. Ooh. Hi guys, that canteen was such a dangerous place. I put on probably about 5 stone doing Harry Potter. It was the cheese plate that really, really got me. They had like 5 types of cheese and millions of types of crackers. Anyway, I've got to go. See you later. Bye. Quick. This is the quickest way out. But it says only in an emergency. I'm very sorry. But we have to go. And there is my trailer. Over there.
다른 촬영장에서도 볼 수 있는 배우들의 트레일러 역시 해리포터 촬영장에서도 발견할 수 있었습니다. 배우들의 개인적인 공간이자 이곳에서 편히 쉴 수 있었는데요. 나탈리아가 기타를 가지고 노래를 하는데 정말 수준급입니다.
Okay, I haven't finished eating yet, but let's go look at my trailer. It's so close to the canteen. Perfect. This is my trailer. My name is Nimbadora Toms. I'm now from Russia, and I have here a coffee machine, and I have a fridge. And that's it. I've got my guitar, so I'll sing you a Christmas song. I made this up when I was busking on the tube and I was broke. Oh, Santa, take away these blues. Bring me something good this year, bring me some good news. My mother hates me and I ain't got no home. My baby left me, I got no one to phone. Oh, Santa, I've been a bad girl, you know. But give me some loving under the mistletoe. I really, really wanted a boyfriend at the time, obviously. I don't know what note to end on, maybe that one.
재밌게 보셨다면 구독과 좋아요 꼭 부탁드리고 더 궁금한 점이나 공유하고 싶으신 이야기가 있으시다면 댓글로 남겨주세요. 그럼 저는 최대한 빠른 시일 내로 유익한 영상으로 다시 돌아오겠습니다. 지금까지 WOO였습니다.